like this. Anyways, let's bring this back up. So we are 4:48. It's taking a little longer before it's getting darker. So that's cool. Let me get my hand off the microphone. Tell me if this sounds okay. Maybe the phone's dying. I don't know. It's on low power, but maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I need one of those Bluetooth microphones. Whatever. Anyways, so we are still the 29th of December. No, of November. I can't tell because, you know, lights everywhere. Not Christmas lights, really? Oh, but there's some in some places, I don't know. Like sometimes you can't tell. Oh, there's some on trees over there, purple ones. I don't know if you can see from here. But it's like you can't, it's like that all year round. Apparently in France it's like that too, with lights all over the place. In New York it's like that, but it's all ads. We kind of got that. If you see up there, I don't know if you see it. That's new. Trying to give that New York vibe. Anyways, near where I live, if I'm still on here, I'll be there in a minute. There was no place to put an ad, but they made something to put an ad on. So, well, we're getting commercialized here. But anyways, so I finished my workout at another gym, and it was nice. I finished it earlier because I was like, it's time to go home. I was on 2 doses of caffeine, which is not that good, but my mood is okay, and everything went decently. Pretty relaxed. Some more lights. Anyways, and I'm preparing for tomorrow, and I figured I might as well leave on a good note, because I got Sunday where I could do stuff, because I won't be working. So keep that in mind. And I bought some more food at the grocery store. It's a little mini grocery store. I bought bananas, 2 avocados, which were ripe. The bananas were ripe enough. And they had some string beans out on the street in front of the door. So I bought those 2. Packet of those for $8.29. So I noted all that. That's what I spent. So that was good. I have to write down all the bills there are due. I have to kind of get myself used to that, like I do for everything else now. It's what I'm good at now. I gotta see, I'm caffeinated, so it's like I can think clearer. Gotta start doing that, getting the habit of monitoring everything I need to pay, make sure everything's in line. At least try to. Especially when it comes to gym membership and all that. Oh, I got an email saying my new credit card is in the mail, but we have a postal strike, so don't know what's gonna happen with that. Oh well. Anyways, so there were a lot of people. Yeah, they call this the fake New York because people honk and all that, but they're not tough. You know. Whereas in New York, they'll all get out of their car and start fighting. See, this is it. They made a place to put an ad in this little park venue type thing. So there were a lot of people with canes. Last year at this time, I had crutches because I hurt my knee. Second knee, from overstretching and whatever. That's why I'm doing all the stretching, and it's important to me. Especially teaching CPR classes, it's not like you have to be able to move. So anyway, but a lot of people I will get up and let them sit down and all that. Like this morning I did that, earlier this afternoon, and she was thankful. But there's a certain type of woman here, of a certain age, and you could tell they're not thankful. Like, I just moved back. I didn't have a seat to give. And so I led her closer to the door of the subway. And she wasn't thankful. She's probably, it's like, when you get into your head like that, like you're critical of everybody, you hate everybody, it's an anger, you know what I mean? And it's common to a certain population who lives here, from here. There was the person who took my class the other day, when we were only 3 people. She kind of had that a bit. But then we got to talk, and she started talking about how at her age, she didn't know, she said she was 50, going to be 60 soon. She didn't know she would lose her job in pharmaceuticals and then have to start being an acupuncturist, and had she known ahead of time, she wouldn't have done it. Stuff like that. I'm like, I told her about my failed business, and she said, you don't sound bitter about it. And I'm like, so it's a personality trait too, Once, about a month ago, I was at Staples, and someone was making a digital printout. No, they were taking a piece of paper and digitalizing it, paying for that. I'm like, you have a phone, why don't you just take a picture of it? And so she said, which is typical. She said, like, I'm not an expert on this, or whatever. Like, she just wrote it off like that. Like, you're an idiot? Is that what you're trying to say? No. But seriously, it's like, it's a certain type of person you have to stay away from, because they can be very toxic, Working government positions, for sure. Like, my issue with the person who is the new person in charge of my account, like, they took all the money from my accounts, and so when I called her, she had nothing of help to say. So I just was like, not responding. She's like, well, you just got to find insolvency agents. You just got to do that. And I just didn't know what to respond, because otherwise I would have just called her a failure in life. That's why you work for the government. Because the person at the course that who I just mentioned, she's like, if became an acupuncturist. She said, how did I know? I'm thinking I'm just going to go work for the government. It's like, working for the government is because you're depressed. And I remember the first therapy classes, recovery, whatever you call it. There was one person who was there who worked for the government, and she was like a mess. So it's terrible and sad, but it gives me perspective. Like, I titled this video "Depressed People," but it's angry people. But anger is usually a manifestation of some sort of depression, of something else towards yourself. So there's that. Let me put on some light. So it's sad, but getting back to the woman in the subway who was on a cane, using a cane, and so I backed up so she can be right next to the door, and she didn't say thank you. I'm not expecting a thank you, but it's a strong indicator that you're not happy. And she's kind of doing side eye, looking at the 2 girls sitting on the bench next to it, which are the seats that you need to give up for people with canes. There's like little symbols, but they were too involved in looking at their phone together. They're not aware. And she didn't advocate for herself. And I was not motivated to advocate for her either, because she wouldn't be thankful of it. So like, and she wasn't that old. I mean, she's old, but she was like, let's say, maybe late 50s. So not old enough to be an older, happy-go-lucky person. Because I mean, when you get to a certain age, like in the morning, they're usually very thankful, and you don't get to that age if you're angry. Usually you've given up on life and you're in a home. You know, that's my observation. If you make it to a certain age like that, it's because you've realized that your life is worth living and you're happy and you're grateful for everything and you don't expect things to be given to you. But a certain age, 50s and 60s, from here, and she wasn't overweight, but there's some who are overweight and they get on and they're looking for a seat, like hunting for it. It just screams like toxic, you know what I mean? So, just thought I'd mention that right away.